Bem-vindo ao Deep Dumps. No Deep Dumps, nossa missão é ajudá-lo a passar nos exames de certificação com confiança. Acesse os exames de prática mais recentes, PDFs e testes online, sempre atualizados conforme os padrões reais. Com nosso material pronto para o exame, você terá os recursos certos sempre à mão. Milhares de alunos confiam no Deep Dumps, e muitos conquistam a aprovação já na primeira tentativa. Oferecemos suporte 24 de julho por e-mail ou chat ao vivo. E nossos especialistas estão prontos para esclarecer dúvidas e orientá-lo passo a passo. Baixe as perguntas e respostas em PDF. Pratique com questões de qualidade e explicações claras. E avance rumo ao sucesso garantido.
Question 1. As part of a project to modernize a sports stadium and improve the customer service experience for fans, the stadium owners want to implement a new wireless system. Currently, all tickets are electronic and managed by the stadium mobile application. The new solution is required to allow location tracking precision within 5 feet. 1. 5 meters of fans to deliver the following services: emergency, security assistance, mobile food order, event, special effects, raffle winner, location displayed on the giant stadium screen. Which of the following technologies enables location tracking? Option A, SSID. Option B, BLE. Option C, NFC. Option D, IoT. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, BLE. Question 2. A company is experiencing Wi-Fi performance issues. 3 Wi-Fi networks are available, each running on the 2.4 GHz band and on the same channel. Connecting to each Wi-Fi network yields slow performance. Which of the following channels should the networks be configured to? Option A, Channel 1, Channel 2, and Channel 3. Option B, Channel 2, Channel 4, and Channel 9. Option C, Channel 1, Channel 6, and Channel 11. Option D, Channel 3, Channel 5, and Channel 10. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C, Channel 1, Channel 6, and Channel 11. Question 3. A company hosts a cloud-based e-commerce application and only wants the application accessed from certain locations. The network team configures a cloud firewall with WAF enabled, but users can access the application globally. Which of the following should the network team do? Option A, reconfigure WAF rules. Option B, configure a NAT gateway. Option C, implement a CDN. Option D, configure geo-restriction. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D, configure geo-restriction. Question 4. A network architect must ensure only certain departments can access specific resources while on premises. Those same users cannot be allowed to access those resources once they have left campus. Which of the following would ensure access is provided according to these requirements? Option A, enabling MFA for only those users within the departments needing access. Option B, configuring geofencing with the IPs of the resources. Option C, configuring UEBA to monitor all access to those resources during non-business hours. Option D, implementing a PKI-based authentication system to ensure access. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, configuring geofencing with the IPs of the resources. Question 5. A security architect needs to increase the security controls around computer hardware installations. The requirements are auditable access logs to computer rooms, alerts for unauthorized access attempts, remote visibility to the inside of computer rooms. Which of the following controls best meet these requirements? Choose 2. Option A, video surveillance. Option B, NFC access cards. Option C, motion sensors. Option D, locks and keys. Option E, security patrols. Option F, automated lighting. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A, video surveillance. Option B, NFC access cards. Question 6. A network security engineer must secure a web application running on virtual machines in a public cloud. The virtual machines are behind an application load balancer. Which of the following technologies should the engineer use to secure the virtual machines? Choose 2. Option A, CDN. Option B, DLP. Option C, IDs. Option D, WAF. Option E, SIEM. Option F, NSG. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option D, WAF. Option F, NSG. Question 7. A company is expanding operations and opening a new facility. The executive leadership team decides to purchase an insurance policy that will cover the cost of rebuilding the facility in case of a natural disaster. Which of the following describes the team's decision? Option A, business continuity. Option B, disaster recovery. Option C, risk transference. Option D, memorandum of understanding. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option C, risk transference. Question 8. A network engineer is establishing a wireless network for handheld inventory scanners in a manufacturing company's warehouse. The engineer needs an authentication mechanism for these scanners that uses the Wi-Fi network and works with the company's Active Directory. The business requires that the solution authenticate the users and authorize the scanners. Which of the following provides the best solution for authentication and authorization? Option A, TACACS+. Option B, Radius. Option C, LDAP. Option D, PKI. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B, Radius. Question 9. A company is migrating an application to the cloud for modernization. The engineer needs to provide dependencies between application and database tiers in a environment. Which of the following should the engineer reference in order to best meet this requirement? Option A, internal knowledge base article. Option B, CMDB. Option C, WBS. Option D, diagram of physical server locations. Option E, so. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B, CMDB. Question 10. A network administrator recently deployed new Wi-Fi 6E access points in an office and enabled 6 GHz coverage. Users report that when they are connected to the new 6 GHz SSID, the performance is worse than the 5 GHz SSID. The network administrator suspects that there is a source of 6 GHz interference in the office. Using the troubleshooting methodology, which of the following actions should the network administrator do next? Option A, test to see if the changes have improved network performance. Option B, use a spectrum analyzer and check the 6 GHz spectrum. Option C, document the list of channels that are experiencing interference. Option D, Change the channels being used by the 6 GHz radios in the APS. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Use a spectrum analyzer and check the 6 GHz spectrum. Question 11. A SaaS company is launching a new product based in a cloud environment. The new product will be provided as an API and should not be exposed to the internet. Which of the following should the company create to best meet this requirement? Option A. A transit gateway that connects the API to the customer's VPC. Option B. Firewall rules allowing access to the API endpoint from the customer's VPC. Option C. A VPC peering connection from the API VPC to the customer's VPC. Option D. A private service endpoint exposing the API endpoint to the customer's VPC. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D. A private service endpoint exposing the API endpoint to the customer's VPC. Question 12. A network administrator is configuring firewall rules to lock down the network from outside attacks. Which of the following should the administrator configure to create the most strict set of rules? Option A. URL filtering. Option B. File blocking. Option C. Network security group. Option D. Allow list. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D. Allow list. Question 13. A network engineer is installing new switches in the data center to replace existing infrastructure. The previous network hardware had administrative interfaces that were plugged into the existing network along with all other server hardware on the same subnet. Which of the following should the engineer do to better secure these administrative interfaces? Option A. Connect the switch management ports to a separate physical network. Option B. Disable unused physical ports on the switches to keep unauthorized users out. Option C. Set the administrative interfaces and the network switch ports on the same VLAN. Option D. Upgrade all of the switch firmware to the latest hardware levels. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. Connect the switch management ports to a separate physical network. Question 14. A network administrator receives a ticket from one of the company's offices about video calls that work normally for 1 minute and then get very choppy. The network administrator pings the video server from that site to ensure that it is reachable. Which of the following is most likely the cause of the video call issue? Option A. Throughput. Option B. Jitter. Option C. Latency. Option D. Loss. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Jitter. Question 15. A network architect is designing a solution to place network core equipment in a rack inside a data center. This equipment is crucial to the enterprise and must be as secure as possible to minimize the chance that anyone could connect directly to the network core. The current security setup is in a locked building that requires sign-in with a guard and identification check. In a locked data center accessible by a proximity badge and fingerprint scanner. In a locked cabinet that requires the security guard to call the Chief Information Security Officer (CISO) to get permission to provide the key. Which of the following additional measures should the architect recommend to make this equipment more secure? Option A. Make all engineers with access to the data center sign a statement of work. Option B. Set up a video surveillance system that has cameras focused on the cabinet. Option C. Have the CISO accompany any network engineer that needs to do work in this cabinet. Option D. Require anyone entering the data center for any reason to undergo a background check. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Set up a video surveillance system that has cameras focused on the cabinet. Question 16. An organization has centralized logging capability at the on-premises data center and wants a solution that can consolidate logging from deployed cloud workloads. The organization would like to automate the detection and alerting mechanism. Which of the following best meets the requirements? Option A. IDs, IPs. Option B. SIEM. Option C. Data lake. Option D. Syslog. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, SIEM. Question 17. Security policy states that all inbound traffic to the environment needs to be restricted. But all external outbound traffic is allowed within the hybrid cloud environment. A new application server was recently set up in the cloud. Which of the following would most likely need to be configured so that the server has the appropriate access set up? Choose 2. Option A. Application gateway. Option B. IPs. Option C. Port security. Option D. Firewall. Option E. Network security group. Option F. Screened subnet. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D, firewall. Option E, network security group. Question 18. A company is experiencing multiple switch failures. The network analyst discovers the following. Network recovery time is unacceptable and occurs after the shutdown of some switches. Some loops were detected in the network. No broadcast storm was detected. Which of the following is the most cost-effective solution? Option A. Add a new layer 3 switch. Option B. Add multiple VLANs. Option C. Implement STP. Option D. Implement tagging. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C, implement STP. Question 19. An architect needs to deploy a new payroll application on a cloud host. End users' access to the application will be based on the end user's role. In addition, the host must be deployed on the 192.168.77.32.30th subnet. Which of the following zero trust elements are being implemented in this design? Choose 2. Option A. Least privilege. Option B. Device trust. Option C. Microsegmentation. Option D. CASB. Option E. WAF. Option F. MFA. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, least privilege. Option C, microsegmentation. Question 20. A network architect is creating a network topology for a global SD-WAN deployment. The business has offices in Asia, Europe, and the United States and makes use of data centers in the United States and Europe. Most traffic between sites must have the lowest latency possible. Which of the following topologies best meets this requirement? Option A. Star. Option B. Spine and leaf. Option C. Mesh. Option D. Hub and spoke. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C, mesh. Question 21. A network administrator is troubleshooting an outage at a remote site. The administrator examines the logs and determines that one of the internet links at the site appears to be down. After the service provider confirms this information, the administrator fails over traffic to the backup link. Which of the following should the administrator do next? Option A. Document the lessons learned. Option B. Establish a plan of action. Option C. Identify the problem. Option D. Verify full system functionality. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D. Verify full system functionality. Question 22. A network architect is designing an expansion solution for the branch office network and requires the following business outcomes. Requirements. Option A. Design a SD-WAN solution to integrate with the cloud provider. Use SD-WAN to connect branch offices to the cloud provider. Option B. Design point-to-site branch connectivity for offices to headquarters. Deploy express route and/or direct connect between headquarters and the cloud. Use headquarters connectivity to connect to the cloud provider. Option C. Design an MPLS architecture for the branch offices and site-to-site VPN between headquarters and branch offices. Use site-to-site connectivity to the cloud provider. Option D. Design a dark fiber solution for headquarters and branch offices connectivity. Deploy point-to-site VPN between headquarters and the cloud provider. Use the headquarters connectivity to the cloud provider. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. Design a SD-WAN solution to integrate with the cloud provider. Use SD-WAN to connect branch offices to the cloud provider. Question 23. End users are getting certificate errors and are unable to connect to an application deployed in a cloud. The application requires HTTPS connection. A network solution architect finds that a firewall is deployed between end users and the application in a cloud. Which of the following is the root cause of the issue? Option A. The firewall on the application server has port 443 blocked. Option B. The firewall has port 443 blocked while SSL HTTPS inspection is enabled. Option C. The end users do not have certificates on their laptops. Option D. The firewall has an expired certificate while SSL HTTPS inspection is enabled. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D. The firewall has an expired certificate while SSL HTTPS inspection is enabled. Question 24. Infrastructure. The executive leadership team issued a mandate to deliver the highest possible video streaming quality to all customers around the world. Which of the following solutions should the enterprise architect suggest to meet the requirements? Option A. Serve the customers in the acquired area with a highly compressed version of content. Option B. Use a geographically weighted DNS solution to distribute the traffic. Option C. Deploy multiple local load balancers in the newly added geographic area. Option D. Utilize CDN for all customers regardless of geographic location. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D. Utilize CDN for all customers regardless of geographic location. Question 25. A company is transitioning from on-premises to a hybrid environment. Due to regulatory standards, the company needs to achieve a high level of reliability and high availability for the connection between its data center and the cloud provider. Which of the following solutions best meets the requirements? Option A. Establish a direct connect with the cloud provider and peer to two different VPCs in the cloud network. Option B. Establish a direct connect with the cloud provider and a redundant connection with a VPN over the internet. Option C. Establish two direct connect connections to the cloud provider using two different suppliers. Option D. Establish a VPN with two tunnels to a transit gateway at the cloud provider. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. Establish two direct connections to the cloud provider using two different suppliers. Question 26. A network architect is designing a solution to secure the organization's applications based on the security policy. The requirements are: users must authenticate using one set of credentials. External users must be located in authorized sites. Session timeouts must be enforced. Network access requirements should be changed as needed. Which of the following best meet these requirements? Choose 2. Option A. Role-based access. Option B. Single sign-on. Option C. Static IP allocation. Option D. Multi-factor authentication. Option E. Conditional access policy. Option F. Risk-based authentication. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, single sign-on. Option E, conditional access policy. Question 27. A cloud architect needs to change the network configuration at a company that uses GitOps to document and implement network changes. The Git repository uses main as the default branch, and the main branch is protected. Which of the following should the architect do after cloning the repository? Option A. Use the main branch to make and commit the changes back to the remote repository. Option B. Create a new branch for the change. Then create a pull request including the changes. Option C. Check out the development branch. Then perform and commit the changes back to the remote repository. Option D. Rebase the remote main branch after making the changes to implement. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Create a new branch for the change. Then create a pull request including the changes. Question 28. A network architect must design a new branch network that meets the following requirements. Use. Option A. Hub and spoke. Option B. Mesh. Option C. Spine and leaf. Option D. Star. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, mesh. Question 29. An administrator logged into a cloud account on a shared machine but forgot to log out after the session ended. Which of the following types of security threats does this action pose? Option A. IP spoofing. Option B. Zero-day. Option C. On-path attack. Option D. Privilege escalation. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D, privilege escalation. Question 30. A network engineer is designing a layer 2 deployment for a company that occupies several floors in an office building. The engineer decides to make each floor its own VLAN but still allow for communication between all user VLANs. The engineer also wants to reduce the time necessary for STP convergence to occur when new switches come online. Which of the following should the engineer enable to accomplish this goal? Option A. BPDU guard. Option B. Priority. Option C. Tagging. Option D. Port fast. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D, port fast. Question 31. After a malicious actor used an open port in a company's lobby, a network architect needs to enhance network security. The solution must enable security posture check, auto remediation capabilities, network isolation device, and user authentication. Which of the following technologies best meets these requirements? Option A. IPS. Option B. Microsegmentation. Option C. 802.1x. Option D. NAC. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D, NAC. Question 32. A company deployed new applications in the cloud and configured a site-to-site VPN to connect the internal data center with a cloud. The IT team wants the internal service to connect to those applications without using public IP addresses. Which of the following is the best solution? Option A. Create a DNS server in the cloud. Configure the DNS server in the customer data center to forward DNS requests for cloud resources to the cloud DNS server. Option B. Configure a NAT server on the cloud to allow internal service to connect to the applications through the NAT server. Option C. Register applications on the cloud with a public DNS server and configure internal service to connect to them using their public DNS names. Option D. Configure proxy service in the site-to-site VPN to allow internal service to access applications through the proxy. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. Create a DNS server in the cloud. Configure the DNS server in the customer data center to forward DNS requests for cloud resources to the cloud DNS server. Question 33. An outage occurred after a software upgrade on core switching. A network administrator thinks that the firmware installed had a bug. Which of the following should the network administrator do next? Option A. Establish a plan of action to resolve the issue. Option B. Test the theory to determine cause. Option C. Document lessons learned. Option D. Implement the solution. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Test the theory to determine cause. Question 34. A network engineer identified several failed login attempts to the VPN from a user's account. When the engineer inquired, the user mentioned the IT help desk called and asked them to change their password. Which of the following types of attacks occurred? Option A. Initialization vector. Option B. On path. Option C. Evil twin. Option D. Social engineering. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D. Social engineering. Question 35. A company is replacing reserved public IP addresses with dynamic IP addresses. The network architect creates a list of assets with some dependencies to these reserved IPs. Which of the following issues may begin to affect cloud assets after the replacement is made? Option A. IP asymmetric routing. Option B. IP spoofing. Option C. IP exhaustion. Option D. IP reuse. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D. IP reuse. Question 36. A network architect needs to design a solution to ensure every cloud environment network is built to the same baseline. The solution must meet the following requirements. Use automated deployment. Easily update multiple environments. Share code with a community of practice. Which of the following are the best solutions? Choose 2. Option A. CI/CD pipelines. Option B. Public code repository. Option C. Deployment runbooks. Option D. Private code repository. Option E. Automated image deployment. Option F. Deployment guides. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. CI/CD pipelines. Option B. Public code repository. Question 37. A network engineer adds a large group of servers to a screened subnet and configures them to use IPv6 only. The servers need to seamlessly communicate with IPv4 servers on the internal networks. Which of the following actions is the best way to achieve this goal? Option A. Add IPv6 to the network cards on the internal servers so they can communicate with the screened subnet. Option B. Set up a bridge between the screened subnet and internal networks to handle the conversion. Option C. Change the servers in the screened subnet from IPv6 addresses to IPv4 addresses. Option D. Implement NAT64 on the router between the screened subnet and the internal network. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option D. Implement NAT64 on the router between the screened subnet and the internal network. Question 38. A customer asks a MSP to propose a ZTA design for its globally distributed remote workforce. Given the following requirements, authentication should be provided through the customer's SAML identity provider. Access should not be allowed from countries where the business does not operate. Secondary authentication should be added to the workflow to allow for passkeys. Changes to the user's device posture and hygiene should require reauthentication into the network. Access to the network should only be allowed to originate from corporate-owned devices. Which of the following solutions should the MSP recommend to meet the requirements? Option A. Enforce certificate-based authentication. Permit unauthenticated remote connectivity only from corporate IP addresses. Enable geofencing. Use cookie-based session tokens that do not expire for remembering user logins. Increase radius server timeouts. Option B. Enforce posture assessment only during the initial network logon. Implement radius for SSO. Restrict access from all non-US IP addresses. Configure a BYOD access policy. Disable auditing for remote access. Option C. Chain the existing identity provider to a new SAML. Require the use of time-based one-time passcode hardware tokens. Enable debug logging on the VPN clients by default. Disconnect users from the network only if their IP address changes. Option D. Configure geolocation settings to block certain IP addresses. Enforce MFA. Federate the solution via SSO. Enable continuous access policies on the WireGuard tunnel. Create a trusted endpoints policy. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option D. Configure geolocation settings to block certain IP addresses. Enforce MFA. Federate the solution via SSO. Enable continuous access policies on the WireGuard tunnel. Create a trusted endpoints policy. Question 39. Application development team users are having issues accessing the database server within the cloud environment. All other users are able to use SSH to access this server without issues. The network architect reviews the following information to troubleshoot the issue. IPAM information. Traceroute output from an application developer's machine with the assigned IP 192.168.2.7. Which of the following is the most likely cause of the issue? Option A. The core firewall is blocking the traffic. Option B. Network security groups do not have the correct outbound rule configured. Option C. The server segment firewall is dropping the traffic. Option D. The server segment gateway is having bandwidth issues. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option C. The server segment firewall is dropping the traffic. Question 40. A partner is migrating a client from on-premises to a hybrid cloud. Given the following project status information, the initial project timeline estimates need to be revised. Which of the following documents needs to be revised to best reflect the current status of a project? Option A. BIA. Option B. SLA. Option C. So. Option D. WBS. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D, WBS.